Okay, so this is normally I do the OSAC, the State Department, and OSINT and Intel report on Monday afternoons. I actually recorded something different this afternoon. And then I got this email earlier today from our corporate security, and then another email from State Department and another agency because of a prior job I had. I used to travel a lot, and so I was on a mailing list of traveling professionals, and they would share stuff. For those of you unfamiliar with this format, I go by regions of the world in alphabetical, and then I go within each region, the countries of interest alphabetically. I got to be quick because I'm running out of time today. My schedule's garbage, but I did want to put this out there because there's some interesting stuff going on. Okay, so this is the March 2nd update. And hey, Loretta, good afternoon. So hold on, I can't see what the hell I'm doing. This is one of the misfortunes of getting old. Hey, Scott. Okay, so Ethiopian Airlines extends flight suspensions to several Middle East destinations as regional airspace closures persist. This is from the Addis Standard newspaper. Then Mali, Niger, Nigeria. The kidnapping of foreigners soars in Africa's Sahel region in the last 72 hours. This is according to the BBC. Hey, Neil, Scott, and Rumrunner, and anyone I missed in the chat. I'm going quick because I have multiple things going on, but this one was interesting enough that I figured I'd throw it out there immediately. South Africa. The South African rand, that's their currency. Hey, Alexandra. She's going to smack me next time she sees me. What's going on, Alex? Always good to see you. I owe you an email, by the way, or a text. Hey, Little Lone, hello. Okay, so moving on. South Africa, their rand, their currency sinks due to the Middle East conflict, and now they're suffering added economic uncertainty. Then South Sudan, UN says dozens of civilians were killed in the last 48 hours. United Nations says dozens of civilians have been killed in renewed violence in northern Sudan in the past 48 hours. This is from Africa News. What I read earlier, it is a variant of Al-Shabaab, which is an Al-Qaeda affiliate. Well, not an Al-Qaeda, ISIS affiliate. It was an ISIS affiliate. I think I got the name screwed up. By the way, the South Africa report was from Reuters. Moving on, in Malaysia, police arrest 49 in Sabak Bernan in a smuggling raid, according to the New Straits Time. Hey, Scott, again, and KP, good to see you. Thailand, the Thai government issues a heat stroke warning. Okay, moving on now. So Belgium, this is according to The Guardian from the UK, a suspected Russian Shadow Fleet tanker has been seized in the North Sea. So now a NATO ally just seized another Russian tanker. They boarded the Etheria, which was sailing under the flag of Guinea, which is the country in Africa. Italy, Middle East airspace closure has now grounded dozens of Italian flights and is disrupting Fiumicino operations. I don't know what that is. That's according to Visa headquarters. What is this? Show. I don't know why it held that. You said, hey, KP Heathen, and YouTube held it. Okay. Well, YouTube also put a penalty on my Corgi channel because Bentley peed on a tree and there was a firearm. Yeah, so algorithms. Yay. I can't explain it. Anyway, Middle East airspace. Italian air travel was jolted this weekend after Iran, Israel, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, Syria, United Arab Emirates, and since this came out, Saudi Arabia have all closed their airspace or large portions of it. KP, I battle it all the time. Middle East, North Africa, moving to the interesting part. Iran, war widens as Israeli and U.S. planes pound Iran and Tehran. The proxies have now hit back. This is according to AP News. And then the very next story is Iran again, NBC News. Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon have now fired missiles at Israel, which then responded with airstrikes, and dozens have been killed on both sides. So this is starting to get nasty. South and Central Asia, moving to Afghanistan and Pakistan. By the way, I don't know if you all are aware of this, but just before we hit Iran, Pakistan told the UN that they are now in a state of war with Afghanistan, who's probably using all our equipment to go attack them, anyway. Afghanistan fires at Pakistani jets over Kabul as the conflict intensifies. This is NBC News. Afghanistan said it was firing at Pakistani jets in Kabul after blasts and gunfire rocked the capital Sunday, compounding their instability in a region rattled by U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran and retaliatory attacks on U.S. targets in the Gulf. Then Pakistan says it deploys troops and poses a 3-day curfew after deadly protests over the Israeli strikes on Iran. This is from the Associated Press, so I'll read this real quick. Pakistani authorities deployed troops and imposed a 3-day curfew in the northern cities of Gilgit and Skardu after several people died and tens were injured following protests over the... Hey, Swipebod, good morning. Yeah, we should definitely put our faith, absolutely. So for those of you who did not see this footage, and I saw it on TikTok and I think Instagram, I know the Four Horsemen, we were sending this stuff around the other day. They tried to storm the U.S. Embassy in Karachi, Pakistan. They ran the local cops off with sticks and rocks, and then they kicked the gate in, and then they ran into the compound. They were warned in Arabic, English, and Farsi to retreat. They started trying to throw Molotovs at our embassy, and the Marines shot about 20 of them. And the video shows all these people run in, and then it goes a few moments later, and they're all running out, and everyone's bleeding. So, so Marines, U.S. Marines have engaged rioters. I won't call them insurgents because technically they were rioting in the capital of Pakistan that were trying to attack the U.S. Embassy. And Pakistan is now saying that they are at war with Afghanistan. So this is just, hey, good afternoon, Grouch Guy. Hey, Jax. Police stop false news. What? Bye. Okay, I don't know what the hell he was trying to say, but that's stupid. Anyway, moving on. Western Hemisphere, Mexico. Scheinbaum says FIFA will visit Mexico to assess World Cup security and mobility. This is a week and a half after the cartels basically burned down central Mexico. They were supposed to get the World Cup. They're not sure they're going to get it. No U.S. Marines. I can't, hold on. We're seeing it, hold on. Salty current, hold on. Shit, all right, what the hell's going on here? Stop false news. No, that's what I was reported. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Yeah, how about this? We'll just take you away because now you're disrupting me. That's enough of that. Anyway, hey, Gene, good to see you. Hey, Hudson, what's going on, Raphael? Okay, moving on. Mexico, Scheinbaum. Yeah, so Mexico's trying to get the FIFA Cup to come to Mexico like 10, 15 days after that whole debacle. I'd love for them to get it. It would be good for their economy and maybe everything will calm down, but I don't know. Moving on, Venezuela's opposition leader Machado says she will return to the country in the coming weeks, according to the Associated Press, kind of unrelated. So for those of you also who did not hear, earlier today, several F-15s from the U.S. were inadvertently shot down by the Kuwaiti air defenses because they apparently have been getting hit with so many drones. And mind you, when we say drones, they're not little drones like we use in the park or even the firefighters use in California. We're talking, these drones are about the size of a Cessna, right? These are big-ass drones with warhead on them. Apparently, the Kuwaiti air defense teams got so confused that they fired on American F-15s. The crews did eject. They are in the hospital being checked on. Nobody was killed, but they shot down 3 of our planes, and they were shot down by our allies. And Kuwait did acknowledge that they screwed up. And they just said there are guys, there were so many things on the radar that were getting screwed up. So it's, hey, Sam, what's going on? It's going to be very tumultuous. Now, there was a shooting in Ohio. I reached out to Vision Preparedness, who's up there. He said it was an argument that escalated in a paid venue, like a concert. The guy in Austin is being tied to a lone wolf terror operation. He fired a handgun at people sitting on a patio bar, then drove away about a block, then came back with a long gun and started to engage civilians on the street. 6th Street in Austin is known for bars and restaurants and concerts. Think of it like a Texas version of a New Orleans. So they have EMTs and cops embedded with each other all over the street. According to the news locally, as well as the police and the mayor, cops were exchanging gunfire with the shooter in under 90 seconds. These guys ran down the street with handguns and took on a guy with a long gun, and they managed to put him down. Unfortunately, there were multiple fatalities. We had 2 or 3, I believe 2 died, third one did, and then there were about 14 injuries. So, and okay, thank you, KP. I don't know what he said, but yeah, he can be gone. To poop in there, oh nice. So in any case, yeah, thank you, KP. You can get rid of them. In any case, so there's a lot of things going on. Now yes, yeah, correct, Raphael. The cops. So if you're not familiar with Austin, they're known for concerts like independent bands and rock concerts on this strip of bars and restaurants. It's actually a fun place to go. Because they do this so often, they implemented a new program after the 2020 riots that they were embedding. They got extra funding from the state. They embed EMTs with a pair of cops, and they're on like little, like Bobcats, like the little, not the SUVs, the little buggies. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The four-wheelers, basically. And it has a 4-seater, and it's 2 cops and an EMS guy. And they were all over the place on the street. So as soon as they heard the shots and somebody had called it in, they were already headed that way. Yeah, the response time was phenomenal. I've even heard from friends who live locally. They said the cops were on this guy within 2 minutes. Like, it was fast. Not fast enough to save all the people, but they were yeah, like a side-by-side, but a four-wheeler, apparently. A four-wheeler, 4-seater side-by-side, if that makes sense. Like the Razors. So they basically hauled ass down the street, and all the drunks are running away, and then they jumped off and started fighting, but the EMTs were literally trying to stop bleeding in under 2 minutes. That's a hell of a good model for New Orleans, New York, Chicago, LA to start using, where you embed medics, MS, with the cops, and they cross-train for that. So like the EMTs are wearing body armor, they know how they move in body armor. They did really good. That really impressed the hell out of me. I think more cities need to use that model Austin used, because it saved lives. Imagine if it had taken 10 minutes and the guy had a long gun. I mean, he shot 17 people in a couple of minutes. Imagine if he had 30 minutes or 12 minutes, you know? He could have made a disaster. Sad that it happened to anybody, right? But that was a quick response. They did good. Austin really, we pick on Austin because it's kind of a little bit of a blue-haired rainbow city, but it's a fun town. The people there, for the most part, are actually really nice. And, you know, it's just a little bit, it's like a blue area in the red state. But I'll tell you right now, the people did good. The citizens were trying to help the EMTs. Like, everyone stepped up, which is the way it needs to be. But that embedding of fire rescue with the cops on the street in buggies was a really good methodology. So Oh, you boys. Boy, the trolls are lazy today. Like I'm reading some of the comments they're making. I'm like, wow, that's just sad. Thank you, by the way, KP, for zapping them all because we don't need them. Um, in any case, hold on. You know what? I'm gonna delete this person from the universe, and they won't come back again. Dun, 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 and they're gone. Yay. Anyway, so thank you, Giuseppe. In any case, look, there are a lot of things moving, and I'll cover this in more detail this afternoon. There's certain things I think will definitely happen to the market and to the general availability of certain things. This is not to panic people. These are things that are actually being reported. Every one of you lives somewhere different. You all have different experiences. You have different financial situations, health situations. Take what I'm saying and ask yourself, will this affect me? If you're in the country living in the mountains and you're 30 miles from the nearest town, I'm very sure Al-Qaeda is not going to come to you. If you're in a small town between cities, you might get something, maybe, maybe not. If you live near something very popular, the state capital or some other important place that could get news headlines, you may want to pay more attention. Again, this is simply, I'm conveying to all of you what was reported. You guys and gals, you guys make the decision. Do I take action or is this not relevant to me? And it's important for everyone to bump up Egypt right here. It's important for everybody. Hey, Psalm 146. It's important for everybody to assess their own situation, because if your situation and mine and somebody who lives, say, in the middle of Manhattan is going to be vastly different from one another. So use your best judgment. That's what I put in my book, Defensive Preparedness. You have to evaluate your individual situation and see what makes sense for me to do. You may not need to stock food. You might have deer and you might have, a garden and you have everything you need. Perfect. You may be in an apartment with limited space. You're going to have to get creative. So, folks, anyway, that's what's going on right now. Again, none of the airmen that were shot down by our allies by accident are hurt that I know of, but they are getting checked out in the hospital. Unfortunately, we lost 3 valuable F-15s. And as of right now, operations are continuing. The Iranians did make a run at the USS Abraham Lincoln. That did not end well for those ships. As of right now, of the 12 capital ships that Iran used to have, 10 of them are now either at the bottom of the Red Sea or the bottom of the Mediterranean. So I don't know where the other 2 went. They probably took off and went to Italy and surrendered there because the Americans are on the hunt. Iran did fire missiles and drones at Cyprus, which is part of Greece, which has nothing to do with anything. The British shot those down. So the Brits are now involved in anti-drone operations, but they did have some damage on the ground. So folks, pay attention, be careful what's going on around you. Don't panic. Instead, use this information and ask yourself what is relevant to your situation, your financial, your location, your geography, your community, and say, do I need to take action or do I need to leave this alone? Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this one. I do have a video going on at 5:30 tonight, and I will go into detail the 5 things I think may happen in the coming weeks. And again, it's information for you. It's simply looking at past trends and trying to make an interpolation. Make the best decision you can for your situation. But I will tell you right now, supply chains will probably be an issue for a while. They're trying to block the Suez. They failed, but they may try again. So anyway, folks, stay safe, be careful, pay attention to what's around you. Be attentive. It's what you guys and girls are already doing. We're already doing this. But keep up on the news. If I get any other breaking stuff, I will post it out there. You guys be good and be safe. Take care.